There is a small problem amongst historians of the Roman army and amongst self-styled military historians in general regarding, of all things, basic military concepts. These matters are the sort of stuff that is absorbed by soldiers during and prior to initial entry training, not the sort of thing anyone would ever learn at an institution of higher learning unless they were genuinely interested in the salient aspects of the military and the life it provides. This historian's lack of formal military institutional tradition calls into question the many comparisons they make between ancient army traditions and modern army traditions. I'm an old soldier with no formal training in historiography, and I, as implied earlier, often find myself disagreeing with some of the conclusions reached by stylish military historians. Simply put, there are things that just don't change regarding army life. Many military traditions are deeply rooted in the practical-minded military considerations from an earlier epoch. This video is to the historians who've never lived the military life. Things can't get any more basic than this. Or in the words of a wiser man than me, super jumbo Crayola style. Today, we are covering three related concepts: rank, grade, and position. These are universal to any and all military organizations. Compare this to non-military organizations, which only use position, sometimes referred to as title, and grade. It follows that stylish military historians will confuse either rank with position or grade with rank. This mistake thrives on the clumsy transliteration of modern army traditions over top ancient army traditions. I very much implore historians to cease this practice. To put things more crudely, Vietnam does not rhyme with Afghanistan. Striking transliteration mistakes from military historiography is all the more important given how little is known about the Roman army as an organization. My comments in this video address the Roman army from about 50 BC to about 100 AD, roughly correlating from Caesar's conquest of Gaul to the death of Nerva. In addition, my comments concern just the line-standing aspects of the organization. The Roman army as an institution had surprising functional depth, but that will have to wait for another time. We don't know much about the culture and traditions of the Roman army. G.R. Watson, the historian who wrote the book, The Roman Soldier, offers no explanation for how the Roman army organizational structures evolved. Instead, Watson, as every historian after him, transliterates position with rank and grade with rank all over the organizational structure of the Roman army. Watson's loose semantics discredit his conclusions. First, let's address the notion of rank. Rank is represented by a symbol. This symbol can be just about anything with the caveat that it must be easily recognizable. For example, the centurion's symbol of rank was a transverse crest on the helmet. Rank's purpose, to add a small measure of order to chaotic situations, to provide a focal point for signal and direction among the pandemonium. Ranks represent order progressing from lowest to highest, with higher ranks commanding more. In the modern army, rank symbols are cloth for the lower ranks and metal for the higher ranks. However, our modern symbols of rank would never work in the Roman order of battle. Rank for all ancient armies was something that had to be visible from a distance, something to be flaunted during battle and never subdued or camouflaged. There were just two ranks at the bottom end of the Roman army: legionary and centurion. Centurions were both commanding officers and proven combat soldiers. There were roughly 60 of them per legion, or roughly 1 for every 80 legionaries. Rank, regardless of army or time, will get pulled. In modern armies, there are mechanisms for sorting out clashes between equal ranks pulled together by ego, circumstance, or adversity. However, history has not informed us of how the Roman army dealt with disputes between those of equal rank. It's worth asking how often there were opportunities for Roman officers of equal rank to publicly disagree. The relative paucity of centurions to legionaries undoubtedly kept the officers busy with their own command, parked behind their desk. And this begs the question, who was in modern terms, the backbone of the Roman army. It certainly wasn't the centurion, and any historian who claims such is a starry-eyed revisionist. The Roman army's complete lack of command depth suggests that a great amount of responsibility was, in matter of fact, delegated to the higher grade legionaries. The term grade is a shortening of pay grade and represents how much a soldier is paid. Thus, two soldiers can hold the same rank, but one may be paid more than the other. Alternately, two soldiers may be paid the same, but one soldier may outrank the other. In the modern American Army, corporal and specialist are the same grade, however, the corporal outranks the specialist. The legionary ranks of the Roman army have three grades: basic pay, 1.5 pay, and double pay. As further proof that centurions were not the backbone of the Roman army, it's worth mentioning that initially centurions were only graded at double pay and thus relied on their rank when issuing orders to their soldiers, some of whom were of equal grade. Thus, the Roman army did not have a so-called backbone as such. As history progressed, it seems the centurion as a group managed to upgrade. How exactly the centurions managed to progress from mere double pay soldiers to something akin to what modern army terms field grade is a mystery. What were the bureaucratic pathways that brought centurions over a few generations from lowly status to high-paying positions of later empire? And why was this upgrade kept under the single rank of centurion? Why did the structure remain a grade structure and not evolve into a rank structure? Sadly, historians are silent on this fascinating organizational development. After grade, the final angle a legionary can play is position. Position, regardless of army or time, will get pushed. The appointment to any position in any army does not grant a symbol of rank. At best, it grants a symbol of skill or qualification. There is no evidence to suggest that the Roman army granted what we would today call a qualification badge. Position can be quite powerful depending on the situation. There are innumerable necessities, responsibilities, and specialties in any army. In contrast to the modern army, all soldiers in the Roman army were combat troops. All army specialty positions exist so that the army can support itself with food and supplies while on campaign. Watson, in particular, misidentifies the position of principale as a non-commissioned officer. In truth, the principales, that being the position of signifer, optio, and tertiarius, were only ranked as legionaries. However, their pay grade and position within their century was higher than the other legionaries in the same formation. The principales thus derived their authority from their skill and experience and not a symbol or badge of office. Properly transliterated, an optio should be described as a century guide or perhaps team leader. Watson incorrectly uses the term orderly sergeant when referring to the tesserarius. Properly transliterated, the tesserarius should be described as a watch orderly or the charge of quarters, which capture the essence of the tesserarius position without inflating it. Rank and grade and position are each separate, meaningful, vital concepts to any military organization. They are universal to any and all military organizations. The interaction of these factors cannot be discounted when drawing conclusions regarding military historiography. Military historians owe it to themselves and to their readers to know the actual military. Without proper grounding in military organizational knowledge, historians skive off and create pulp fictions. I, for one, am tired of listening to chicken hawk historians and their dreadful pulp. It really is quite sad when the historian who literally wrote the book on the Roman soldier couldn't be bothered to learn about basic military concepts before applying intellect to the situation. Don't be that person. And that's all we have time for today. This has been an independent production for YouTube by Goblin, February 2022. All rights reserved. I hope this was useful.